Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and doing an in-person deck profile this time, because I've been having a load of fun in TCG with Fire Kings. I think the deck's really cool and I really like how it interacts, and yeah, I just thought I'd share my personal opinion on how the deck should be played, and get some feedback to improve, and just see where we go from there, just get a bit of a conversation or something like that. But yeah, let's just jump right into it, and we'll start off with two Garunics for the Fire King monsters, because I think you're fine at two. You should be playing around stuff like Crow and Soul Release. That you shouldn't be blown out by those cards with a competent hand. So I think you're fine at two. Like, you don't need it at three, but I understand that it's very cool opening Garunix because it just means you can do different sort of plays. But I think you play it at two, and I think that's fine. We're on 3 High Avatar Kirin. This card's insane. All it reads is dodge imperm, and also the interaction during your opponent's turn is insane. Just non-targeting pop, especially since you're summoning a Avata and then popping, which is your monster negate. Just lets you play around most hand traps, and it also is extension in the fact that when destroyed, it will summon a Fire King from grave and then destroy it during the end phase. Its effects are negated, which is unfortunate, otherwise this card would be even more busted. Just summon back Ponix and search, go crazy. But yeah, so I think you want to play 3 of this for now, because this deck it's not fragile with good hands, but it's fragile with bad hands, and just having the Avatars there is really nice. We are also on 2 Ponix, because it's searchable enough, we don't need 3. I was on 3, but then you start opening multiple and you're like, damn, this hand's ass. So yeah, I think you play this at 2 if you are on the engines to get to it. And then you're on 1 Fire King Avatar Barong. So you don't need more than one of this. Searcher in the standby phase can grab a Kirin if you haven't got one in circulation already, or an Avata in the alternative scenario, or even just a Ponix to summon itself from hand and then search on your opponent's turn. But yeah, so I think you only need one of this because you can recycle it with Avata, because the fact that Avata revives and then destroys during the end phase means that you're always going to be getting a search with Barong. So yeah, I think you just play one of this, you're fine with it. For our Fire King Spell and Traps, we're on 3 Sanctuary, makes good hands better. I don't think you play this any lower. I understand opening like Sanctuary Island or Sanctuary Island is really bad, but also like it just means your mainline combos are so much more powerful. So I think you play 3 of this, and it just helps with bricking as well. And you're on 2 Island because you don't want to draw it, but also you can't play one of it, so if it gets banished to a Cosmic, it's not very good for you. So I think you just play 2 of this, and I think that's the standard. Then we're on 1 Skyburn and 1 Circle. Skyburn's really powerful removal, especially going to like backrow decks like Labyrinth, or just contesting an SP. And Circle is how you play around a lot of your graveyard interaction being interrupted, and it also just can be extension, or just like something like bringing back a Flamberge Dragon from the graveyard can be very powerful. Then we're on 3 Wanted for our Sinful Spores engine. Well, I mean, yeah, it does what it does. This card's insane. Just means you go plus off your Diabells, and Diabell is your full 1-card combo. You can do everything you need with 1 Diabell. However, it just loses to interaction with if you're just doing the 1-card combo. However, usually you'll have stuff in hand, which means that you're not going to be stopped. We're on 2 Diabell, seeing as it is full combo. I don't think you want to play this at any lower ratio, because I was testing at 1 and it just kept bricking. So I brought it up to 2, and in like the 15, 20 matches I've played in person, it's performed very well. And we're also just on the 1 Simple Spores, of course. And then we are on a Snake-Eye Ash and the Flamberge Dragon. Like, I get the reasoning why you don't play, why people aren't playing these, because like these are garnets. Well, depends. This is a garnet. There's no way around it. However, what my thoughts are, what are you ending on if you don't play these cards? With like your average combo. Not with a good combo, with your average combo, what are you ending on? You can't really get to any extra deck plays. You can make Heat Soul Pass, which is an inoptimal end board in my opinion. So I think you want to play these. I think the payoff is way higher than the risk, really. I just don't see why you shouldn't. And in the worst of the worst, they're a pitch off Diabell or they're a pop from Island. Because if you haven't got either of those, I think your hand's just so bad that really you're lost anyway. But as for the non-engine, we're on 3 Fenrir. I was kind of on the wall about this card because it means that your main combo plays into Nib if you summon this, if you don't have an Avata. However, the payoff's been much greater than how the detriment. I think I've only been nibbed once and I Avated the nib, so you know. If they have it, they have it. But yeah, I think that playing this has just been really nice, and it provides pitches for cards, which is really important. We're on 3 Ash, the only mandatory hand trap in this deck because it's a fire. The amount of times I've gone, normal summon Ash Blossom, okay. Go to battle phase, swing in, sure. Garunix tear apart your entire board is immeasurable. It's very funny. We're also just on 3 Imperm because it's Imperm, why wouldn't you play it? It just helps. Even like off the top, it's great because it can contest stuff like a Hiking Caesar and other cringe things. Now, where this deck deviates from a lot of non-engine is we are on Super Poly. I see some decks playing this, some decks don't. I think that this card's really good, and I like it, but this is by no means mandatory. So this is kind of an up-to-you sort of thing. And we are also on 2 talents. I think talents in this deck just fits it really well. Like, it helps when you bricked, but also just like most of the time you're playing around all the interaction. However, you just going into a board, this feels great, and also you always just look at hand. There is very rare that you need to use the draw 2 because you're just usually like, look at hand, oh okay, let's keep playing anyway. So I think that this card's really cool in the deck. So I've played it, but yeah, up to you. But I've sort of like some feedback on this because I think it's really powerful. I think depending on how the format develops, its position in the deck could change, but at the moment I've been really liking it. So like, I'd appreciate some feedback on the talents. And then we're also on 1 call by. If you're not on call by, what are you doing? Like, this interrupts a lot of engines, but it also just stops Dimension Shifter, the one true Blartz's deck, and can interfere with Droll, which can be a pain in the ass if you've got a bad hand. So I think you play this. I don't like not playing this, so I think you just keep it in here. Even if because I'm on 41 cards right now, this wouldn't be my 41st card. So yeah, that kind of just lends to the value of it. So I think you definitely want to play this as a card. But also, I think you value it over the tactics as well, because I think it's better in your bricked hand if your opponent's trying to Ash Island. It's better to call by the Ash Blossom than to draw 2 random cards. As for the extra deck, we've got a Linkaribo. I mean, this card's been really powerful. It enables Heat Soul plays, it enables Sunlight Wolf add backs. This card does it all. It even allows you to dodge Imperm. It's crazy. We're also on a Sunlight Wolf to add back. I've been considering playing 2 of this if I had the space, because this card's just so good as well. Like, you just grab back Kirin or a Flamberge Dragon if you have a Kirin, and bam, you're playing in your opponent's turn. And you also, with most hands, you're going to be linking into a zone it points to with IP. My mainline combo incorporates IP. I see some lists aren't on it, but because my main combo ends on Sunlight Wolf IP, I think the interaction offers is really powerful. We are also on a Heat Soul. You don't normally go into this in your main combo. It's either a plane to access code, or it's just Heat Soul. Like, if you have a really bad hand and you've been interrupted and you're running low on resources, you'll make Heat Soul. Suddenly you've got 2 more cards to work with. Sometimes hitting a Kirin off the top can be really powerful if you're not got one in circulation. So then you can turn your Garunixes online. So I think that I get the reasoning why you don't play this, and I don't contest not playing it because it makes sense, but I like it. I think in your bad hands, going into this can be really powerful. We are on an SP because it's SP. It's SP, it's SP. It does SP things. You link into this with IP Masquerader underneath Sunlight Wolf, and shit just goes down. We're on a Heather. It's a spellcaster, which and it's an extender, so it grabs fires, wins the mirror a lot of the time. And the fact it's a spellcaster means Celine has a good time. Because, Celine to access code. When you're playing Diabell and stuff like Heater, I don't see why you don't play this card, really. We're on 1 Apo. This is, this is not meant to be here. I temporarily subbed it in because an Anima has gone missing. So I'm just trying to find that. And then this will return to being an Anima. Anima is also a spellcaster, so, Celine go Brewer to make access code. By the way, Apollosa is technically an IP target. You don't make it as part of your main combo, but you usually just want to make SP because SP is just doing her thing. And we also play 1 Underworld Goddess because we don't have an in-engine out to Chaos Angel made with a light and a dark, so we need it. Because the only outs is like Talon's Take or like an Imperm. So yes, I decided on playing this just because I do not have any other way to contest towers at the moment. We are also on 1 Garunix. I'd like to play 2 of this card, but I haven't got space at the moment, so there's other cards I'd rather play. And you don't go into rank 8s too often, so it's not the end of the world. Just blows out the board, and it can make OTKs very easy. We're also one Dingirsu excels at making Zeus, and I mean, it wins the mirror every time. You just exceeds into this, and it's like destroy who. And the send is also very powerful going to a lot of matchups, non-targeting and non-destructive removal. Just very strong card in general, and it does excel at making Zeus, which requires no explanation. We're also just on the super poly targets of Garura and Mud Dragon. I don't think you need any more, because usually that's sufficient, but you could try and fit in a Guilty Gear Frida or a Draco quest if you wanted to. I don't have those cards, and I didn't see the necessity to play them, but I do think that you're fine playing them if you want to, if you can find the space, but a lot of this stuff in the extra deck I wouldn't drop for anything. Because like Apollosa went out for an Anima, and Apollosa's a good card. So yeah, I'm happy with these two as targets, and I mean, Diabell sending Garura that's just destroyed your opponent's board is very fun. It's also just worth talking about, we do play a Rangbali in the side. I think Rangbali is a really strong card into your spell and trap matchups. However, going first, it's terrible unless you know what you're playing, because it just offers no value. That's the problem. But like, having a spell and trap negate is really nice. So I think you play this in the side as a one-off, because you can get access to it real easy. So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on the deck. And like I could show you the side deck, but it just keeps changing. Like, I don't think that there's much point. The only thing I've really had as the mainstay is DD Crows and Cosmics, and a Pancratops, because Pancratops has been funny, because I've often ended up with a 14-card side, and I'm just like, ooh, Pancratops, go brr. But yeah, so that's kind of the deck. I will now proceed to show you probably the one-card combo, and explain how it can play through Nibiru and other interactions. Okay, so our one-card combo is a Diabell plus just a card. So you just go Diabell, pitching the card, and you will grab yourself the Sinful Spoils, and then send your Diabell to grab a Snake-Eye Ash. Then you go Snake-Eye Ash effect, you grab your Fire King Ponix, normal summon the Ponix. Ponix effect will add you your Sanctuary. Activate the Sanctuary. I'm just going to put the island here because of space, and then you activate your island from your deck. You'll go Island effect, popping the Ponix to add your Garunix. Summon Garunix off its effect. A Garunix effect, pop from deck, you'll pop a Kirin. Kirin effect will then trigger, and you will summon your Ponix. Here, this is why the one-card combo is a bit bad. You could get nibbed. But usually you will have either a combination of Sanctuary in your or Island in your hands. You don't need to normal summon the Ponix to search it out, because you can just trigger your search later down the line. So yeah, that's how you play around Nib. You just draw good, simple. So yeah, so you've got this. Then you'll go Ash effect. You'll send your Garunix and your Ash to summon out Flamberge Dragon from your deck, and you'll just link these two into your Sunlight Wolf. And then you can trigger the Flamberge effect to revive 2 level 1s in Graveyard. And you can just put the... So usually I zone them like this, because so like, I will want Ponix here in case I go for Heat Soul lines, because you can just link into Linkoribo and into Heat Soul, but usually you won't. Because generally you're assuming you have a fire monster in hand. You could pop the Sunlight Wolf if you wanted to, but generally you assume you have a fire monster in hand. So you can trigger the Sunlight Wolf here, and you grab your Kirin back to hand, so you're playing on your opponent's turn with Garunix. You've got the Sanctuary there to Exceed Summon. So you've got that in hand. You're sitting pretty. And then you just link these two into an IP. So, and then during your opponent's turn, you can just go Kirin, pop a fire. Suddenly, Garunix comes back, bodies are spilling onto the field. You've got plenty of IP fodder, you don't need to link off the Sunlight Wolf with it. So you can keep Sunlight Wolf sitting here, and you'll just link off something like a Ponix into your SP Little Knight, and then that'll trigger your Sunlight Wolf to start grabbing cards back from your graveyard again. But that's the one-card combo I've been working with, but usually you'll be insulating it through something like a Arvata, or you just have multiple cards in hand. You've got Kirin in hand to dodge around Imperm. Ooh. But yeah, so that's what I've been working with, just as a one card. But yeah, so I think this is just a pretty solid end board. It represents more interactions than you think. Like with your 5-card hand, usually your opponent will see this. You'll see like 2 or 3 interactions, maybe at most. It's more like 6 or 7. The deck can go crazy, and you're getting value all the time you're doing it, because bear in mind, a lot of the time you'll be adding Flamberge Dragon back off Sunlight Wolf, because you'll be searching a Kirin in handles. from your island because you either opened Garunix, something like that. A lot of the time, essentially, you get to add this back to your hand. So you will then be popping that with your Kirin to summon itself. So as well as going Garunix to summon, you'll also be summoning these two and getting 2 searches. So yeah, I think that's really powerful in terms of the interaction it represents. Yes, that's just the main combo I use, and then obviously if you bricked, you can go for Heat Soul, something like that. It doesn't really get better than this, apart from you have an Arvata maybe here. But like, I'm fine with that. You don't need to go mega explosive boards for this, because all your interaction is done with your plays during your opponent's turn, especially using Garunix popping a Kirin. Like, you don't need any more. It's fine. And like, to explain how you don't play into Nib, it's just simple as your 5th summon on your normal combo will be a Flamberge Dragon, and you've got your Ponix sitting here. So if your opponent wants to nib you here, sure, you nib, trigger Flamberge Dragon, you're still getting value off of it. It's like, yeah, you don't get to the full end board. You're still sitting on probably an IP or an SP, so you're fine with that. Yeah, so that's kind of just the main combo I thought I'd just show quickly. But obviously, if you have any thoughts on it, yeah, I'd like some feedback. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed.